Welcome to Wisner, Nebraska and Thunder by the River. It's the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Let's get it started in limited pro stock tractors. This is Tim Lotman. He drives Farmer's Foreplay.
Limited pro stock, heavier weight, 9,500 pounds, 4-1 class is what it's known nationwide. Starting off with one of the top runners. Oh man, straight and true front end, up, run, and gun. You couldn't start it off with a better one. The tractor's for sale, and it's a good one, $338.96.
Well, not really a surprise here because Tim Lotman runs really well about every place he goes.
Yeah, and the tractor being for sale just means that you're going to get a good one. He's wanting to move up in the pro stock ranks. But in this show, the boys got to beat that class, and it's going to be hard to do.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
Well, here in Wisner, Nebraska, we've got a lot of work to do today, so we'll speed it up for you. Welcome to Thunder by the River. I'm Claude Wood, along with Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson. Our class today will be limited pro stock and the light limited modifieds coming up later. Pulling next will be Tanya Yankee. She's the wife of Craig, who happens to be the past points champion.
Sitting on top of a good tractor, this lady started driving this year and is making herself known as one of the top drivers. Front end up in the air, putting all the weight on the rear end, spinning and grinning. Whoa, look out. Bad deal, bad deal. Don't get in the way of that tire. It will hurt you. That's a lot of weight that you don't want to get in front of. You just try to knock it over, get it out of the way, and be sure it don't hit nobody else. Claude, that's a bad deal. Broken axle is what happened. And the thing to make note of right here, you can see that axle broke, spun off the rear end right there. No fault of hers, but keep in mind, all the safety equipment worked.
Yeah, Dave, as we go to the replay, this looks like a really good run. When she starts, wheels not up in the air very much, and it's going well.
No fault of hers, just an item that broke. Let's go down to Rick Carlson, and I bet she is going to be really tore up.
Tanya, that's not how we wanted to visit.
It's not. Was not the bang that I was going to expect, for one.
Just kind of a snap and roll away.
Yeah, I heard a little whir, like something back there, and then everything went to all the heck, and there was a wheel passing me by. So, yeah, that wasn't what I wanted to do today, but it's fixable. So, I don't know if it's going to be fixed today, but
How are you?
I'm a little shaky, but I'm okay.
Our next puller is Rodney Davison driving Red Iron, and this tractor used to run the Super Farm tractor. A lot involved there in changing.
A lot more horsepower, bigger turbo and such as that. That was one of our top Super Farm tractors. Now he's trying to gain the #1 spot in the limited pro world. The motor went down, tried too tall of a gear, I'd say. 270 feet, .93, just flat run out of ponies.
Well, we'll keep it red. This is Roger Learman running on red. Roger is a farmer and excavation estimator.
Man pulls NTPA, he pulls Excalibur. Now he's come over to the Outlaw ranks, trying to put the running on red tractor up in the #1 spot with them. A lot of professionalism here. Going down to the big end. The flagman having to walk towards him, not a good sign, means you only go the distance of 3:03.20.
And that'll bring up Todd Davidson out of Osceola, Nebraska. His tractor's called High Velocity Legacy Edition.
AGCO tractor, another one of the guys you don't see just a whole lot of this brand in this class. Is coming on stronger, and of course the man's going to have a dealership with AGCO. Better be running an AGCO tractor. Good shot inside the screen. Motor didn't give up. Good run. A little short on distance, 294.39.
All Business is Steve Shackelford's tractor. He is a full-time farmer.
Full-time's a light word for it because these boys have taken on a lot of land this year. Finding time to go pulling is hard to do, but when it comes time for Wisner, you'll make time. Look out, sling that sled over to the right side. Man made a U-turn. That cost you a lot of distance when it does that. 298 and 59 is not going to help him out a bit.
And our first check of the leaderboard shows our first puller, Tim Lotman, on Farmer's Foreplay. He holds the #1 spot. Stay with us when we come back. After the break, Joe Moriando. Get ready to pull.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series is being brought to you by VP Racing, Macon Power. Extreme Performance and Tire Cutting, a cut above the rest. Trailer Legs, keep your tires strong. And the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association, Thunder in the Dirt.
Welcome back to Thunder by the River from Wisner, Nebraska. It's the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Well, here comes Joe Moriando. No green, no glory. And Dave, lots of weights on the front. It doesn't matter how many, but how much they weigh.
How much they weigh, because them ain't all real weights. Some of them's there for kind of a show deal. Good run going by Joe. Kind of burned it in right there. 3:08 and 13. That's going to move him into second place. I think he had different plans for that, Claude.
I believe so. The mark to beat, 3:38.96. Now, Joe set up right in the middle of the track. Maybe wheels up just a little too far.
Maybe so. I'm kind of wondering about the gear that he run. Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
Joe, the tongue was hanging out a little bit there at the end.
Yeah, we tried a bigger gear than we've ever tried before. We figured, you know, we're at Wisner, why not?
Heartbreaker 2. This tractor is driven by Thomas Thies. Thomas is out of Minden, Nebraska.
Little bit of a jerk on the starting line right there. Very aggressive on the clutch. You seen in that beginning shot right there where he put on the horse collar. You cannot say enough on the safety of this sport. Like a while ago when the tire come off on Tanya's tractor, the roll cage kept it from falling on her. Safety is a must. Thomas Thies goes 294 and 81.
That'll bring up Brent Paddock out of Mound City, Kansas. Brent started pulling in 2014. He got a new tractor in 2015.
Hey, this guy is on the ball. He also is on the fair board in Mound City. He helps produce the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pull in Mound City. Taking a little bit of a bouncing ride and up and down. Needs a few more ponies. 296 and 33 will be the distance he'll have to live with.
Here is our past points champion. That's David Novak out of Howells, Nebraska. He drives Mean Farmer, and the number to beat, 338.96.
Well, if anybody can do it, the Mean Farmer can. Motor sounding really good. Drifting to the right, but he's not fighting it. He's looking at that checkered flag. His eyes was dialed in on that checkered flag. He goes number 2 at 321 and 63.
Well, David, along with everybody else, spotting the sled right in the center. And it looks to me like, Dave, this track is holding pretty true. It isn't changing much.
Yeah, the daylight hours is really not affecting this track that much. These boys are still in there pretty close together.
David, finally somebody got down in the 320 range.
I tried to get down there a ways. That first hook probably going to win it tonight. I'm going to take second because I'm in the points race, and I think I beat the number 2 or 3 guy in the points.
Here's Jacob Hellebusch. He drives No Mercy. He was your 2014 Excalibur points champion, but Dave, he's come over here to the Outlaws now to give them a run for their money.
Him and the No Mercy tractor has made a statement. He said, guys, you're going to have to go through me to win the points championship this year. And doing a great, great job. Sliding in with the distance. Oh, man, 321.73. He is 1/10 of a foot into second place.
And this is about as perfect a run as I think we have seen up until this point anyway. Look at that, straight and true all the way down.
Yeah, he had to work that clutch pretty hard off the line. He stayed in it a long time, but he burns it in at a good distance.
And that'll bring up Seth Novak. He drives the Bounty Hunter. Now, in case you remember that name, Seth is the son of David, who pulled earlier.
David is sitting in there. He got bumped down to third just a minute ago by the red tractor. Seth is going to try to get it back for him. Oh, right in on top of that 300-foot mark. These boys are playing by hundredths of a foot, 3:08.16. He's in fourth place by 300ths of a foot. Is this class close or not?
Well, I've always heard tractor pulling is a sport of inches, and looks like he's fighting a little bit right there, but it worked out okay for him. Checking the leaderboard, no surprise there. Tim Lotman still in first place, but look at second and third. 1/10 of a foot separate them. 3 100ths between fourth and fifth. Stay with us. We'll be back. Welcome back to Wisner, Nebraska, and Thunder by the River. It's part of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. Here's Corey Barrett. He's out of Ravenna, Nebraska, and he comes from a pulling family.
Oh, the Barretts and Ravenna and John Deere's and Internationals all wheeling that town in Nebraska. This is a new tractor out of Ravenna, the high-stakes horsepower. Ooh, I bet he wishes he had a lower gear. 3:01 and 53 will be his distance.
Dwayne Eman. He's one of the older pullers in the Outlaws, and he's a hired gun today. He's pulling on Stand Clear.
Man's used to sitting in the seat of the Stand Clear tractor and does a great job at it. Just proves that age don't deter who's doing the driving if you're a good driver. Got every pony he could out of it, every distance out of it. He goes 3:05 and 47.
Came up quite a distance short, 3:38.96, the mark to beat. Colin Corey out of Rockwell City, Iowa. He drives all summer long.
Outlaw's proud to have this man as a new Outlaw member. All summer long pulling, all summer long going down the track, having a great time. Oh, did he burn in a good distance. Goes into number 4 by 48 hundredths of a foot, 3:08 and 64. Now, Claude, you couldn't tell that this guy's kind of new on the track, can you?
Well, he does look real comfortable in the seat. Looks like he read the track okay. Wheels up pretty much right there, though.
And he's smart enough not to fight the tractor. Let it go where it wants to go as long as you stay in balance.
Tony Wortman up next. He runs his own diesel truck repair service. His tractor is called Tapped Out.
Well, he's all the time driving Tapped Out. He's another one of the guys that helps everybody on the track. Pretty knowledgeable in the diesel world. Gets all, oh, is he ever drifting to the left? You see those front tires turn, when they turn like that, you better hope they don't touch too hard. You're going to take a left turn, Clyde. 3:07.07, not the distance he's used to.
Checking final results. There he is, Tim Lotman, our first puller. The tractor's for sale. I don't know, maybe the price just went up on it.
Tim Lotman, you didn't think it'd hold up? It did.
Yeah, I did. It was a good track, and first place was a place to be today, and we held on to it and kept it.
You knew what to do when you're out first.
Yep, stick it in a big hole and go.
There's a great crowd on hand today, and if you can't be here, there's a good way to keep in touch on social media. Rick Carlson has more.
Taylor Van Beek, Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling has a new app. How do we find out about it?
Well, you can go on Android. Users can download it off the Google Play Store, and iTunes is available for the app, or Apple users, and it's a real great app. I mean, guys are using it. You know, we introduced it. We're the first organization to have this app. Usually we're waiting around looking at the scales for the app and the lineup, results. Here, guys are always on their phone looking at it. Real great app just to see the lineup. You know where you're at, you know when you're hooking. And then for fans, it's just great. I mean, sometimes when your family and friends can't be there, they're looking at live results and they're seeing it, and it's just a great all-around app so far.
Changing classes now as we go from smoke to noise. This is the Light Limited Modified. That's just a warning. Get your ear protection ready. This is Tyler Meyer.
Off and a running. This class has got a lot of different styles of motors in it. Tyler Meyer using an Allison aircraft engine, going down, going to start off with a distance of 292 and 17.
As we go to the replay, you'll see more of these engines later in the program, but this one is pretty much a basic setup.
Yeah, this Allison 1,710 cubic inches. You see the stock carburation on the front, the stock intake. For all intent and purposes, outside of being dealt in on the altitude, it's stock.
Tyler, you get things kicked off. Do you think that number is pretty good? Are you comfortable?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little under horsepower for the class, and it's a really good, solid run for this tractor. I mean, it's been performing pretty well, and I hope it holds in, but there's a lot of good tractors behind me.
Kent Urban coming up now. This is his first time back with the Outlaws. He has been part of a motor building team for Connie Coletta. Boy, that's different.
You talk about a guy that knows his Hemis. This guy can talk Hemis. Oh, that motor's up in there. You heard one tire turn loose. He's making a U-turn. Spin and grin. 322 feet, .82 with a U-turn. But, Claude, that motor worked for him.
It did, a little bit more, and I think he would have gone about 180 degrees. But right there, sharp turn. What's going on?
Yeah, he had to hit the brakes. That's when that motor went upstairs. I bet he'll talk about it. Let's go down and find out what he thinks about it.
Kent, you and a Hemi take over the lead.
Well, so far, there's a lot behind us yet. There's a lot of good tractors there, too. So,
You put a lot of distance, though, for them to shoot at.
well, let's hope so.
And our next puller is a frequent flyer, at least that's what he calls the machine. Blake Ott out of Norfolk, Nebraska, part of a father-son team. This is an Allison with a little different design.
Yeah, you see those big tubes up on top? That's the fuel injection tubes. He's now gone to fuel injection, got a different pump. More ponies, more power, torque in the frame. You bet he's talking about more of everything. 359 and 97. 359, 97. That's what you like to see. Let's go on an airplane ride on the ground. Touching the brake a little bit. Guiding it with his feet. You see his feet working him right there. He's guiding it with his feet. Motor talking. Flagman coming. That's the only way to go pulling.
Dave, I tell you, at any time there, I was thinking that we're going to go airborne the next time the wheels went up in the air.
Well, his front end did go airborne. Maybe if he could have held it down a little bit, he'd have been a little happier, but he'll sure take that.
Blake, I thought you were going to drive right down to us.
Yeah, that was an awesome run, man. We turned it around from last night. We weren't too lucky last night. The track kind of played against us, but couldn't ask for a better run today. I hope it stands up.
Stay with us. A lot more noise, a lot more excitement coming up. Our next puller will be Cody Meyer, retired Warfare.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series is being brought to you by Precision Turbo, the world's foremost manufacturer of high-performance aftermarket turbochargers. Sap Brothers, welcome, be our guest. Graham Tire, your tire store next door. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
A great crowd on hand today for Thunder by the River from Wisner, Nebraska, part of the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. This is Cody Meyer. We're still in the light limited modified class. His tractor is retired Warfare.
Yeah, the turbine engine. Going to run with the turbine engine up in the air. Guiding it with the brake. You better look out. Better look. Ooh. I can tell from here, I don't even have to see the flagman. That is going to be an out-of-bounds run. He couldn't hold it in. He was touching the brakes with that turbine, and that wheel speed carried him out of bounds at 3:18 and 63.
Hit the brake too much, or what happened there?
Didn't have enough brake to hold it. Just flat. Then you can hear that turbine pulling down, and we touched the white line, and that is a no-no.
Well, that will bring up Brian Furr. A little play on words here as he calls it Furr pulling, and he hopes that's what's going to happen.
Well, we've got a V8 engine sitting in second place right now. We need another V8 engine to get up farther. He's fighting it to the other side. Now we're going to go to the left side. Man, this track is dealing these boys a lot of misery, and he didn't go very far. 285 and 28.
359.97 is the mark to beat. Colton Whitworth will give it a shot now, driving Captain Hook 2.
Oh, Colton sitting on top of the turbocharged engine. As I said earlier, you're going to see everything in this class. Allison's, V8s, turbines, whatever. Now this one is turbocharged. Man out of Unionville, Missouri goes into number 3 at 311 and 26.
I tell you, the Captain Hook 2 there, sporting some cool but scary graphics.
Yeah, he is for a fact. He had a rough takeoff. You've seen a lot of bouncing right there. Kind of surprised he didn't back up and try it again, but he decided to roll with it. Little up and down, but hey, he stayed between the white lines.
Our next puller is David Turkleson. He is out of Scribner, Nebraska, and he calls his tractor the Jet Lag.
A little play on words with the jet right there. And, you know, a lot of people refer to these motors as jets. Jets are air-propelled turbines or shaft-propelled. That's why this is a turbine. Doing a little zigzagging, spinning and grinning. The Nebraska man goes 297 and 42.
Up next will be Kelly O'Haver. He's out of Kirksville, Missouri. This is called Captain Hook, no relation to Captain Hook 2.
I never did figure out that there's no relation, there's no tie in the two tractors, but everybody liked Captain Hook. By the paint job, you'd think they'd be connected, but they're not. Oh, yeah. Twin engine, but we're not blown, we're not turbocharged, so you got two engines on this one. 303.03. I was looking for this tractor to go a little farther than that because this is one hard running machine.
Let's go on board and see what it's like to ride with Kelly.
Interesting shot right there. You take a look at those tachometers. They're kind of reading a little different. One tach's for one motor, one tach's for a different motor. Those motors are not 100% in sync by the tachs.
Bodie Ott coming up now. He's out of Norfolk, Nebraska. He's Blake's father, and Blake is leading the class right now.
Dad's going to try to gun him down. Dad won't back off. Dad ain't going to give him nothing. Dad ain't got the wheel speed that his son had. Just kind of sitting in there, makes a little bit of a U-turn. Not going to happen for him. Looks like he's going to settle out number 3 at 321 and 23.
Final results, light limited modifieds. Blake Ott is in first place. The V12 Allison outdoes the Hemi drag race engine, and Blake's dad is in third place.
Quite an afternoon of pulling with all the smoke and all the noise, the dirt flying and everything spinning and grinning. There's more to come in the weeks coming up.
There sure is, and that'll put a wrap on it for today. Now for Rick Carlson and Dave Bennett, Claude Wood, so long from Wisner, Nebraska, and we'll see you next time.